All right, welcome back to Reality After Show. My name is Bobby Goodsby. I'll be your host today, and I'm joined by an amazing guest who just came in fourth place on Deal or No Deal Season 2, Parvati Shallow. How are you today?
I'm good, Bobby.
I am so sorry to see you so soon. Like, I wanted you to be at the end. I wanted you to see you and David sitting there at the end in the final two, but you know what? It is what it is. Great season. I want to start from the very beginning. Obviously, you're a Survivor legend. What made you want to play Deal or No Deal Island, and how do you feel like your experience on Survivor helped you in this game?
Survivor was a formative experience for me. It was my initiation into these games. So it's informed everything that I've done in any game I've ever played. With that said, Deal or No Deal is way more fun than Survivor. It was a blast. There's a lot more luck involved. There's a lot more surrendering control and accepting whatever is in front of you and then working in the moment to make adjustments and to push the levers of human emotion and motivation. And then alongside that, to play with the dynamic of the changing luck of the suitcases and you don't know what's in them and all this kind of strategy. The challenges were so um, heavily weighted for Deal or No Deal. So anything that was happening at the beach could be fun and playful. And then the challenges was where I really like locked in to strategy mode and went for it. And that paid off for me. So it's just like learning how when to hit the gas and when to like sit back and coast.
Yeah, no, awesome. That's awesome. And I want to say your relationship with David on this season really showed through. And obviously, both of you are former Survivor players. Both of you are Survivor legends in different rights. How did that relationship help you in this game? And how's your guys' relationship now? Obviously, he gave you the opportunity to play. It didn't work, but you guys seem to be on good terms at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, he's great. That's like a friend for life. My when I play these games, I don't necessarily have a partner who I can trust 100%, but when I do, it's magic. And that's what happened with David. It felt like a soulmate gameplay island connection that was like woven into the fabric of my destiny before I even got onto this planet. Like it felt so magical being out there on the Banker's Island. And I think that's part of the like, that's part of like the uniqueness of Deal or No Deal is that there is sort of this spiritual element to it that felt like cosmic and invisible. Like there was this like invisible support that was going on and interesting synchronicities and connections that felt very spiritual. And the end of this game will blow your mind. It's a spiritual experience. I mean, there's something about even the name of the Deal or No Deal game being played in the temple. It felt like that to me. I mean, I grew up on a Hindu commune in Florida. So when I feel that spiritual magic, it's just lights me up. And that's how it felt. Like having David out there, someone I could trust completely, who plays just like me, but in a male body and would do what I asked him to do. And we could have these great conversations and strategize and work together. And I trusted him. It was like, it was heaven. I loved it.
Yeah, and that's such a great experience, and just seeing you two from two different walks of life with the different Survivor games and coming together and forming this Survivor Alliance was absolutely amazing to watch. Now, what was your reaction to the fact that no one knew he had played Survivor at all? And then two, when he finally revealed in this episode to people that he was on Australian Survivor and he's one of the greatest Australian Survivor players to play. What was your reaction to both those experiences?
I loved being the only one who knew David's secret. That was
Yeah.
really fun for me. I felt like I had a treasure box hidden in my room and I wasn't telling anyone about it. And then when I went back to the hotel after I'd lost to the banker, people had already Googled and found out who David was. So they already
Oh.
knew who he was. And then when he came out at that final challenge, I was like, oh man, they're going to try to sabotage him because
Yeah.
they were very vocal about not wanting another person who'd already won a reality show to win again. They're like, now it's our turn. One of us should win. So I was worried about him in that final challenge. But
Gotcha.
he came out with so much love and warmth and positivity. I think it just kind of blindsided people.
Yeah, yeah, I could tell that it definitely came across that way that he just killed them with kindness. But let's go back a little ways. Let's go back to last week's episode. Now I want to talk about the competition where you and CK both dropped for the $3 million. What was your reaction in that moment, and what was your game plan in that game? Because it seemed like if you would have dropped right from the beginning, right when they showed the 3 million, maybe this wouldn't happen, but woulda, shoulda, coulda. What was your reaction in that moment? How did you go about it?
That was a tricky challenge because if you dropped right in the beginning, then it gave a lot of other people time to drop and split.
Uh, gotcha.
So you kind of wanted to wait till the very end when Joe's like, okay, going once, going twice, because then there's less time for someone else to split it. So I didn't want to reveal my cards too soon. But
Gotcha.
it's like also an endurance challenge. So you saw Letty drop just because it was too heavy and she dropped. So there were so many ways for people to lose or win or sabotage someone else that it was really tricky. And CK and I could barely hear her. She was on the other side of the structure to me. We were working together very closely. I felt like we were in a solid alliance. So I don't think we intended to split each other's bag. It was a pure accident and it felt really like so bad to me because I was on such a hot streak. I was like, oh, I
Yeah,
can win every challenge and make it to the end being safe every single time and never have to play the banker until the very last
yeah,
game when I could win the millions, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, it was sad.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that both of you just dropped at that same exact time. But your ally, David, obviously did win that competition, and he had the choice of who he wanted to nominate to go against the banker in the banker's temple. I want to talk about what CK said to you when you guys were in the shower area having the conversation, and she straight up says to you, I think I'm gonna have to come for you, Parvati. And what was your reaction to that? Because that kind of caught me off guard that she's laying her cards out there. Did that make you want to play even more? What were your thoughts there?
Originally, it was a toss up for me because I trusted CK. We had been working together from the beginning of the game, very early on. But I knew CK wanted the boys out. So I knew she was tight with me, but she and Letty had had their ups and downs. So I thought she would be closer with me than she would with Letty. So when she said, I'm going to take you out, it felt to me like a threat. Like I knew she didn't want to play the banker and she wanted me to play. So it felt like a move. And I was like, don't try to put a move on me. Like if you I was like, I'm gonna choose if I'm gonna play or not, but you now trying to put a move on me makes me mad. And then I also know with CK, she doesn't like it when people are mad at her that she cares about. So I was like, I'm gonna be extra mad. Get a life, CK.
Yeah,
Like, I'm gonna be
yeah, yeah,
extra mad at this girl so that it like starts to crumble and apologizes and then second guesses herself. And then if I end up not wanting to play and she does play, she would keep me in. But I wanted the experience. I wanted to play.
yeah.
I didn't want to leave deal or no deal without having played the banker.
Yeah. Yeah, and first off, the get alive CK was great. I was like, it totally caught me off guard, but made me literally chuckle out loud. Now, I mean, I can't blame you. I feel like you want to control your own destiny, right? You want to have that experience of one playing deal or no deal and getting all the power in your hands. And hey, if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't work out, at least you had the opportunity and you gave it your opportunity to try to win, and you weren't just taken out by someone from underneath you. So I totally get that. And I don't blame you for playing. I think that was the right move. Unfortunately, we saw how the game went out, and a lot of 50-50 opportunity. The whole Bankers Temple through for you. What were your thoughts? Obviously, it didn't work out in the end, but did you expect that this opportunity could eventually get you to the final three? And if you had a chance, was it going to be Letty that was going to be going home if you won that competition?
Yeah, I would have kept CK because she was
Yeah.
my girl. My tightest allies in the game were David and CK.
Yeah.
So that was my ideal final three. And I didn't know, we had no idea they were going to do a kind of a jury challenge at the
Yes.
end. So I was like, either way, I'm good with either of those two. Like I felt confident in my abilities in the challenge. I felt like I could take anyone, but Letty and I had no real relationship throughout
Mhm.
the game. So I would have eliminated Letty. She knew it too.
Yeah, I think everyone knew it was either going to come down to you or Letty in that situation. So let's then go and fast forward. You are now one of the jury challenge members. How did you think that this competition was go? Because this is completely different from anything we saw last season. Like, I feel like you have to take everything you saw in previous seasons of Dondi and throw it out the window because nothing is consistent when it comes to the gameplay. It's not like Survivor where we see the same thing every single season, especially in the new era. What are your thoughts on how that came about? And did you think that your boy David had an opportunity to go far because you guys were in a tight alliance and they might want to come after you?
Yeah, it's having this twist at the end where the challenge was essentially a jury
Mm-hmm.
from it felt like the finals of Final Tribal Council with Survivor, where the finalists had a chance to plead their case. It also felt like Jury Villa or Ponderosa back at the hotel, where all the eliminated contestants were saying, we don't want someone who's won a game before to win again. So they were very vocal that they wanted Letty to win the game. People were mad at CK for the way that she'd played. So it was clear that people wanted Letty. So I was like, oh my God, y'all, David won Australian Survivor years ago. They only win 500K and it's Australian dollars. It's like dollary dues. It's not even
Yeah.
really play money. I'm like, he's got four kids. He's like, he's a dad. Like, what's, you know? So I was trying to help him out back at like Jury Villa.
Yeah.
But then once we got on the challenge platform, I would have had a really hard time because people didn't know David and they just found out who he was. So they were like
Mm-hmm.
less dug their heels in with him, um, that we can't let him win. But with me, they had all dug their heels in from very early on that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't want me to win. So I think if I had been in the end, it would have been really hard for me. I think I could have love bombed everyone, like blasted them with love and done my best. But I think it still it would have been tricky.
Yeah, and no, and it was a big difference from what we've seen before. Obviously, this is now a social into this competition. It's not like last season where it was all physical.
Yeah.
And I think that your experience with each other and how it all played out, and just seeing the interaction. Obviously, we saw CK go home because she didn't have the social element that you need in this game. So I know you got to get going. I wanted to just get your final thoughts. What did you think of your experience, and would you play Deal or No Deal Island again? I know we might not see you on Survivor again. Who knows? The possibilities are out there. But if you were to play Deal or No Deal Island, would you do it, and would you come back for like an all-star season?
Well, you know where I'm at right now is I'm moving into a creative development hosting phase of my career. I've written a book called Nice Girls Don't Win. It talks about my origin story, how I became this Black Widow game player. It talks about where I've landed now. The epilogue is coming home from Deal or No Deal. So it's pretty current, the book. And now I'm working as an executive producer and creating some stuff, moving into hosting. So I would come back in the capacity of consulting, producing, supporting this game, like refining the game to make it even more of a hit so that we see more of the social dynamics at play. Because there was a lot that wasn't shown because of the format of the show. And I think there was so much happening on the beach. If there were live feeds, you guys would lose your minds. Like there was so much unraveling and drama and
Wow.
crazy stuff going on that wasn't there was just wasn't time to show it.
Hmm.
So I would come back in a creative consultant capacity for Deal or No Deal. If they want me to
Gotcha.
play again, someone would really have to lay it on thick to convince me.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, let's get the statue out there for you to be one of the mentors in the game. Uh,
Yeah.
Parv, thank you so much for this opportunity and your time today. And I really hope to see you again in the future on some form of reality show. But if not, as a fellow
You
executive
will.
producer,
You
oh,
know,
I
I'm
know.
I'm on Survivor Australia versus the World.
I
That's
didn't
gonna
know if we were allowed
be
to
fun.
say anything, but yes, yeah, I am
Yeah.
very
Well, they leaked
excited.
the cast. And so then they announced like me and a few other people that are on the cast.
Okay, cool, perfect. So very excited about that. Can't wait for that to come up, and might see some other familiar faces on there as well. All right, Parvati, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Bobby.
Bye.